Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For those new here, my name is Nikki, I'm an author and editor and I post videos here on YouTube about writing, editing, reading and all the other things I love. Today we're here for an AuthorTube tag and it's the full writing tag, and I'm going to put all the information, the questions, the creator and everything in the spiel below, so do check that out if you want to do the tag yourself. In the meantime, we have 10 questions to get through, so I'm going to kick straight off with them. Number one, what music do I listen to while writing? None. I'm actually a huge music fan, but I can't have music on while I'm writing. Occasionally I can manage a little bit of classical instrumental, but if there are lyrics, I tend to stop writing and sing along, or I start writing the lyrics into the story. So it's better for me to write in silence. Number two, what do I eat and drink while writing? Having a cup of tea handy never goes far wrong. I'm British by birth, so a cup of tea is kind of written into my DNA, I think. Sometimes it's nice to have an odd little biscuit or snack, but mostly I'm not eating particularly while I'm writing, but I do like to have a glass of water and sometimes a tea. Number three, what are my perfect writing conditions? Well, I've already mentioned the silence. I do like to be alone as well. I mean, even if my husband's doing something else in the house, not making noise, his presence somehow puts me off. It's better if I have the entire house to myself, completely alone, completely silent. Number two, something I used to like but don't now. I used to type straight into the computer for a first draft. That used to be my preference, but over time I've changed and I do now prefer to do my first draft by hand and then type it up afterwards, a few chapters at a time as I finish them. For some reason I've just swapped to that. I think I was doing too much screen work for one thing, like with my editing and other things as well, so it's nice just to get off the screen some of the time for that first draft. Number five, what's my favourite part of writing a novel? I think just immersing myself in that world. When you first get that buzz of a new idea and you're creating the characters and the world and the plot and everything in your mind, that's the best moment. That's my favourite part. Number six, what terrifies you when writing a novel? Finishing it, probably. I mean, I don't plot, so when I get an idea and I start writing, I usually have a rough idea of where I want to be at the end of the story, but I have to get through the middle to get there. And sometimes, you know, I'm just worried I'm going to get run out of ideas or get caught up and write myself in knots or something like that. So just getting it through that first draft, so I've got a complete story from start to finish, is probably the scariest bit for me. Number seven, how do you get over writer's block? I mean, one thing I try to do is have a few different pieces on the go at any one time. So if I'm feeling a little bit lackluster about one, I can go to one of the others and work on that instead for a while. That's probably my main thing. If I'm really feeling stumped and I'm just not in the writing mood at all, what I do tend to try and do is pre-plan stuff for my blog. So I'll film vlogs like this one. I'm filming this one in advance now. I'll write blog posts in advance. Anything I can do to free up time later so that when the writing mojo comes back, I've got the time to sit and do it. Number eight, tips for world building. I think it's important to have a really good understanding in your head of the world before you start. World building, is particularly for a sort of intricate fantasy novel, is not something you can do on the fly as much. You can work out the plot on the fly, but you need to know the rules for your world and how the society works and how different magical skills, things like that, will work beforehand so that you don't write yourself into trouble later. Number nine, how do your story ideas start, with plot or with character? This really depends. Generally, I'd say it's more character. However, if I'm writing a piece that I've come to from a call for an anthology or something, for example, then that will often give me a theme. So in those cases, I might start with a plot. But for the stuff that comes to me pure inspiration, it tends to be a character or two will jump into my head and then their story will unwind from there. And finally, number 10, share a spooky writing prompt. Okay, a young woman wakes up in an abandoned house in the middle of nowhere with no idea how she got there. Go! So that was the full writing tag. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to join in, as I said, all the information is below. I'll be back again soon with another vlog, so I look forward to seeing you all again then. Bye for now, everyone.